Let's see. And here we are. Hello, welcome to Extra Connections here on JLJ Media. I'm your host, James Lott Jr. I'm the JLJ of JLJ Media. And last week we had the fellas. Today we have the queens. That's right, kids. We have them today, going to join us talking about some of my shows I have here on JLJ Media, my audio series, and see some of the women who are leading the way on all my shows, and one that's coming out shortly. So we get to meet each of them and talk about how they got started with us, what's going on, and what's going on in their lives also, and it comes to other things they're doing. So I'm first going to tell you, please subscribe to my channel, because just why not? You have nothing else to do. Subscribe to my channel and see what else is on. I have over 35 shows, from Star Wars to soaps and everything in between, insurance, dentistry, all kinds of shows on my network. And so please support us and check it out and see what's going on. And we're also on every audio streaming service platform you can even think of, from iHeartRadio to Spotify to everything, all those ones, Google, Apple, everything. When you see us, like it, follow, subscribe. Share some of these shows with people. There's some fun stuff going on. We're going to talk about them. So please, please, please. And we have a live chat tonight. People are in the chat room. Hello, you guys are in the chat room already. Just setting that up a little bit too. Hello, Kirsten Marie, you're in there already, who's on one of our shows, Miss Toll Road. Kirsten Marie is on there. And while you're there, like it. Like to do a little like there and say hello. Any questions? Also ask away. So I'm going to introduce each of the ladies and tell you where they're from in the JLJ Media universe. Starting with the first show that I ever said yes to, Forever and a Day. I heard her voice. She knows this. When I heard her voice, I was like, I'm in. I am all in. I am yours. I'm all in. She plays Elaine Harper on Forever and a Day. Elizabeth Grant, yes, sir. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hi, James. Thanks for having me tonight.
My pleasure. She and I go way back because we come from our AfterBuzz TV days, and we did hosting together on Audition Days and the Bowl Breakdown. She followed me over and said, okay, I'll come with you, James, see what's going on after that all went down. She plays Peppermint Winters, a name we just gave her, on Miss Toll Road, which was our second series that we did, was successful, and the upcoming spinoff, Peppermint Winters. She also plays cousin Jenny Holly on Claws, the series, and she got killed. She's getting killed. You want to watch, it's good. On the upcoming Easter Hare, she plays Eugenia Flowers, my girl, Tammy Govinda. Hello, Tammy.
Hi.
Hey there. Now, she was one of the first people I ever casted in anything that I was doing, and so I have a very soft spot for her, very much so. She plays Talia Arbalest on Mr. Toll Road, our very successful second series. She plays the creepy Aphrodite Williams on Cupid's Crossing, which was very successful for us also. And she's in an episode of the Really Short Story podcast called Where Are You? My girl, Happiness Carter.
Hi.
Hello. And now this one, I have her candles. Her candles. I love it very much. She plays in the series Cousins, which is on our Really Short Story podcast, Wendy the Fire Chief. But of course, right now she's playing Sally Claus, the wife of Santa on Claus the series, Miss Ashley Stewart. Hello, Miss Ashley.
Hi, everybody.
And last but not least, and she knows I love her from the very beginning. I got her from someone else, so I'm glad we got her. She plays Alethea Robbins in the upcoming horror series, The Easter Hare, which will premiere April 1st. Yes, on April Fool's Day. And I'm so glad. We're going to do some more work together too, but it's their first thing with us, Miss Christine Howard. Oh, Miss Christine.
Thank you.
So hello, ladies. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I want to tell you, each of you, thank you so much for making my dreams come true. You guys are reading the words that, some of you are reading the words that I write, some are reading the words that my co-people are writing. You're acting the words out loud on this journey that I had no idea I was going to be on. And it's turned out to be very successful for us, but each of you is a part of that. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You know, you're the dream maker. I think we're actually all co-creating one another's dreams. So thank you, community at JLJ Media.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very important to me. I wanted a community. I wanted people who are creative to have a chance. And when COVID hit, folks don't know this, when COVID hit, everything in LA shut down, everything in New York shut down, everything just shut down in terms of arts. There was nothing going on. at first. And so I decided, and Casey Hutchison, of course, and Forever and a Day came to me, and we said, let's try something that's COVID proof. Let's do Zoom, so it's COVID proof. And also can help people have a chance to do something, actually practice their craft and actually do something, which is very important, and keep that muscle going, right? And so I'm very glad to continue doing. I have more shows coming. I'm very excited. This has been a dream I didn't realize I wanted realized. So I'm glad that I'm able to help out. I want to start with Miss Elizabeth first, because like I said, I met you through one of the early recordings. We're doing a table read, and I was just like, wait a minute, I love her voice. Who is this? Like, who is she? So I don't know this. How did you come to Forever and a Day? I have no idea how you got there.
Well, that's a good question, because honestly, I don't know either. It was very, very out of the ordinary. I had done a couple of, voiceover narrations. Once COVID hit, I thought, I've got to do something different. And I had put up a voice profile on Backstage, I think. And I'm driving in my car, and I got a phone call while I was driving. And it was Casey Hutchinson. And he said, hey, I saw your profile, and I'm wondering if you'd be interested in auditioning for this soap opera podcast. And sure, I'd love to. And that's how it started. And honestly, I still don't know how Casey even found me, but I'm really glad he did.
He has his ways. He found you somehow. He plucked you off the internet. He found you.
I mean, it seemed like that. It was just this weird phone call that I hadn't submitted to anything, and so it was kind of funny.
Which must be nice, because you have to, as you all know, you have to submit to get stuff, to even get noticed. It must be nice to have someone just go, okay, I found you.
Yeah, would you like to do this? And it was like, well, I would love to. Yeah.
Funny. And now, Miss Christine, we have almost the full opposite. I have another guy, Trevor Van Uden, who was on one of my series already, who suggested you to me. So how did he come to? I told him, I said, I need more ladies. I need more people. What did he say to you? I don't even know what he really said to you.
I met Trevor in my first ever acting class like 6 years ago or something, and we hit it off right away. And so we've always kind of like been in each other's corner. We always submit each other for things or like suggest each other's names. And so like he's suggested me on a few things that I've done, and I've suggested him on a few things that he's done. So whenever he sends me something, I'm like, I'll do it. Also, I'm like a yes. I'll pretty much do anything besides porn. All experience, like acting. I
don't know. Tony Moore says all the ladies look great tonight, and you guys have all worked with Tony. Some of you guys all work with Tony, so that's kind of nice. It was funny because Trevor is such a nice guy. I mean, he's this guy, and I didn't see it. Trevor Van Uden, I did not realize he's on the Cupid's Crossing. He plays Eros. I didn't realize he was this big time model. Like back, I get all this. I mean, like, he was on cover of like W magazine. I had no idea. And I remember he's such a nice, unassuming guy. So when I said I know how to star on my show, he's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "You're a star." We started laughing. So whenever he said I can suggest somebody to you, I'm like, I trust him. Christine, you and I met. I loved you from immediately when I met you. That was it. It was like done deal. Because you do music, you do all kinds of stuff like I do. So I was like, okay, we're gonna get her on the show.
Yeah, I was like pretty happy it all worked out. And then I feel like a very kindred spirit because like you're doing music and writing and acting and voiceover, like community building, like you're, and I'm really trying to like be in that same energy force field that you're creating. So it was like great.
Of course, we like that. Now, Ashley and Happiness have the whole thing of they found my ad on Craigslist. So I've never asked it, and I liked you both immediately when I met you both. But I had never asked either of you guys, were you regularly going on Craigslist to find talent? Because there's sections you can find work. So I'll start with you, Ashley. Were you on there looking for stuff just regularly, or something like really?
Yeah, especially like when I had an office job, I would just peruse Craigslist for hours, avoiding what I was actually supposed to be doing. And like there's some really creepy stuff on Craigslist, but there's like some legit stuff. You just gotta like search for it. And yeah, that's how I found you.
And I wasn't creepy, so it's good. It worked out.
No, not at all.
And it happened the same question to you.
Yeah, honestly, I was, it's funny that Ashley mentions that because honestly, I was just looking for other opportunities to get started. And then I saw James's ad and I was like, oh, and I reached out, I sent him a message back and yeah, that was pretty much it. But honestly, that wasn't my first time looking for an ad. I didn't really go on Craigslist for that usually.
Actually, I've gotten some jobs in Craigslist over the years. I mean, I'm not on there a lot anymore. Like back in the day when Craigslist was really in, I was on there. Actually, a little fact, I knew Craig back in San Francisco when he was getting started all those years ago. We used to ride the subway.
Craig is a real person?
Yeah.
A real person, Craig Newmark. We used to ride BART together. And if you're from San Francisco, you know what BART is. And I see him in the morning. So he's actually a person. But I think he's sold it by this point or whatever. But it was actually his list. But I'm
wow, makes sense.
So yeah, it's a little fun fact. If you're ever on Jeopardy, that's a fun fact.
Love it.
As I said. And Tammy, obviously you have a very different experience because we're friends and colleagues already. And I was just like, come on over, girl. Let's do something because I love your voice. So how has it been for you?
It's been great. Voiceover work was always something that had been in the back of my brain, kind of like hosting. And I just remember as a kid having a little Mickey Mouse radio, and at night there would be these audio serials, these audio soap operas. And I just loved the experience of it, of listening to audio. So podcasting, people think podcasting is all new and brand new. Hey, this stuff has been around for ages. It's just called podcasting. So I've loved every minute of it. I'm looking forward to doing more.
Yeah, now I want to actually talk about something that's very interesting. And it happened with one of my first times with Elizabeth. It happened with Christine recently. Chemistry. It's funny when you go in for a role and you start to work against the other actor in a scene, and then some unexpected chemistry comes up. Elizabeth, you remember you and my buddy Brandon Larkins, who Tammy also knows too. His character Isaac Marshall you guys were old friends,
right?
You started to read, and I remember that we were like, "Wait a minute, what's going on here between these two characters?" Was that fun? Is that interesting when that happens, Elizabeth?
Absolutely. It's really, really fun when you just have this sort of spark of connection. And, even though it's audio only, you can feel or you can hear that spark. And so I'm still waiting for something to happen between Isaac and me.
I think it should happen. That's just me. But the chemistry is completely there. It was very, and you're right. Having to hear it auditory instead of like seeing it,
right?
Was very interesting because the ear caught it. You go, oh, okay. It happened with Christine and a fellow cast member, Ashley Tripp, who plays her roommate, Monica McAndrews.
Yeah.
On the upcoming pair, you guys she loves you. She was just like, I was like, you two was so natural as roommates. I believed it. Like you were literally living together. And remember we were talking about how fun that was? We were talking about that?
That was amazing because I haven't gotten to act with people in like a year. Just that lovely, that's why we love acting, right? You get to listen to someone and just be in that. I mean, I just miss conversation in general. So I think it was nice to meet someone and have a conversation, and it felt organic and like we were discovering each other, but then just also felt like I'd already known her, which was cool.
It was very true. It was very interesting. It's happening to me right now on Mistletoe Road because with Tammy's character, now I kind of see her with someone, we kind of pair her with somebody on the show. And then on Claws the series, I had an idea of having her separate from another couple, and now the voices are kind of, it's so weird to me when this happens. Because as a writer, I have a clear vision of what I want to have happen. And then I realize it's out of my hands. It's when the chemistry goes, you got to go with it. Remember, Tammy, because now I'm thinking Jenny should be kind of a Carl, maybe. I'm thinking there's something there. Even though you're the PR person, I'm kind of leading you that direction. It's kind of like maybe like a triangle of sorts. I don't know. Like it's kind of weird, right, Tammy? We were talking about that.
My job is just to say yes and.
That's right.
Yeah,
right.
no, it's been amazing. The chemistry in the audio world. Who would have thunk? I mean, it's a completely. It's like you're using a different sensory capacity as an artist, and to say you have chemistry with someone else's voice is really, really amazing. So yeah, loving it.
Well, Ashley, on our show, Closet Series, we have Billy Alex who plays CJ, Santa Claus Jr., and he uses the perfect tone as the bitter Santa Claus Jr. Right? He's like, he plays it so well.
He really does, yeah.
He really does. So shout out to him. But you play his mother. And it's an upcoming scene coming. It's a really big scene coming up that we had to kind of practice and put together. And that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? That big blow up, so the big blow up scene between you guys.
That was fun. I'm only ever really cast in like comedy or like, upbeat roles. So being able to just really like let it go and let him have it was really fun.
Yeah, that was a good time. And that's the thing, we got to give you some diverse roles out there. We give you diverse roles. And then Happiness, because you wanted to get your foot into this, now you've done so, because she told me, so we did Miss Toll Road, great job. It's just like, if there's anything creepy, let me know. Anything creepy. And so Cupid's Crossing, we made you creepy.
It was very fun.
How much fun was that playing that when you and Sterling Scott, who plays the poor Percy on that show? How was that for you to unleash that side of you?
Yeah, I think that I get like depicted as like this happy character a lot, which is fine. I like that. But playing the creepy character, that was fun because it's just like a different level of like, I don't know, attitude. And I had fun with it, honestly. I loved all the lines too. It was great.
So you delivered them perfectly creepy. Perfectly creepy. You did. Are there, for all of you guys, are there roles or a role you would not play? Or are you open to everything just about? I mean, is there something that you're like, nah, not doing that? I used to do that, I won't do it anymore. There's something you just kind of like, nah. So anybody can go first if there's something there.
Well, like Christine, I wouldn't do porn.
That's funny, Elizabeth.
I feel like I might turn down a role that I don't think I'd play well.
Yeah.
Like if I'm given something and I know I'm not going to nail it, and it's like a very sensitive role, like I'm depicting a real person, or I'm depicting a victim, or depicting something that if it's not done well, like I will feel bad about myself and about what I've put out into the world. Like if I'm not going to be able to pay homage to something, then I'm not going to do it. But everything else I think I would do besides porn.
Yeah.
Now that I've said it 3 times, it's like, am I doing porn? Like I've read it so many times.
Well, I have a role for you, Christine. You'd be great at it. No, yes, exactly. So Ashley and Tammy and Happiness, anything you think you can do, like, doesn't mean anything bad. It's like you thinking now we want to do it, or you're just like, I'm open to the universe and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm open for all. I've actually done roles that I felt uncomfortable going into at first because it took me out of my comfort zone, but ended up having a lot of fun and a great experience. So yeah, I'm really open to try anything.
I'm open as well. I think things that turn me off are scripts that are gratuitous, whether, it's nudity or whether it's language, if there's constant swearing, because, to Christine's point, I love the art of conversation. So when you have these scripts who are just really limited in that capacity, But I'm not going to say no, because I also, if I feel comfortable with the writers and the directors and their vision, have faith and trust in their journey, then I'm willing to go along for the ride.
That's good. Happiness.
Yeah. I think everybody kind of nailed it, because I think that, there's been situations where I'm like, I don't know if I'll represent that well. But then it ended up being fun. You got comfortable with maybe the producer, and it's like, oh, wow, I actually, was more comfortable and more creative with it than I initially thought. And then I think, one of you guys also said, I like when something's casual, when it feels natural. That's something that I'm more comfortable with, rather than if it's really limited. But again, just being creative and being comfortable with the production team is probably a big factor.
I'm curious, James, did you ask this question to the men?
Yes, I did. I think I did.
Because, just coming from a women's point of view, it's different. You ask a man, would you say no to a project for, and why? I think reasons why men in the industry would say no definitely would be different from the reasons that women would say no.
Well, I'm fine with the men, and this is also off camera. They're not as open to roles as women are.
Really? That's interesting.
We're like, oh, I'll do whatever. You want me to be crazy? I'll be crazy. You want me this? I'll be this. Like, seriously, the women, well, like what Tammy was like, kill me on a show. I won't be killed on. I'm like, I was like, killed on a show? Like, real? I'm like, the guys just seem more hesitant.
That's really surprising.
I know. In my experience, I don't know how it's everybody else, but in my experience, a lot of them are just kind of like, well, I don't know. And we're like, sure, I'll do it, James. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and go. Let's go there and do it. So I'm finding the women to be more open. And I don't know if that's just in general because men are stiffer in real life, I guess. I don't know. That women seem more open in real life. I don't know what that is, but that's been my experience doing this. That the women are more like, yes, I want to do it. I saw this. It sounds good to me. I like the way it's written. Let's do it. Let's go. And men are like, well, I saw this. I don't know if I could. I'm like, oh, okay. Fine, I guess. But the women seem more open. The women seem more open to try the experience. That's what I found. I don't know if anybody has the insight on that. I have no idea why that is. I mean, I'm assuming that just women are more open, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
That's really surprising, actually. I wouldn't have expected that, but.
And there's a few men are like, yeah, I'll do it. But I've had more women go, yes, just what do we do? Okay, I'll do it.
I think a man, they don't want to look stupid. Like there's this guard of like, I want to be cool and like I want to kind of know how I'm gonna play it so that like I can be cool and do my cool sexy things. Whereas like usually women artists like already feel like they're crazy and like ugly and insane. Like I know I'm crazy all the time, so like I think we're able to put ourselves in positions where we are gonna look stupid and be okay with that, and men don't want to look stupid, and they're less okay with that.
Like an ego thing, kind of. Okay.
Well, and I think women. Oh,
go ahead, Elizabeth.
I think women too are more comfortable expressing a range of emotion.
Yeah.
Where men are a little more, have a narrower comfort zone. Maybe
that's a really good point.
It is.
I agree.
Yeah. Yes. I was coming more from like the socialization point of women are kind of raised to not say no, to say, okay, even though I don't feel comfortable with this, like, okay, where men, it's like, no.
Well, it's true, because right, if a woman says no, she's a bitch, right? Isn't that the usual? If she's confident, then she's a bitch. She's just doing too much. And like when men are confident, oh, they're so wonderful, they're great. Oh my God, they're so strong.
What a leader!
I hate the double standard. I hate it. Sorry, Christine.
I said, what a leader! Like that's how men,
right.
Like when men are no and kind of jerk. They're like, we should follow them.
Right. It's like I don't get that. I think women are stronger sex anyway. That's just my opinion. I listen to women. I do whatever you tell me. Whatever women tell me, I just listen to them. I think women are stronger. You guys have a lot stronger stuff than we do. I mean, there's a lot of things men could not go through. Trust me, that you guys go through on a regular basis. I can totally admit to that. I'm a big baby. But do you think in Hollywood, just from your experiences and things you're seeing, do you think it's changing at all for the better?
I I do. I've been single for like 4 years. So I was having a lot of like issues with hating men and feeling like they don't get me. There's none good ones out there. I'm gonna be alone forever. And I did a tarot card reading, and my friend was like, yo, you're putting a lot of energy out there, and like it's forcing all the bad men to come to you because you're saying that they're all bad. So like it's drawing them to you. And so I did like a shift of energy. And then all these great guys came, like no partners, still single, but like great men to work with and collaborate with. Like James, you're one of those men. Like I feel like there's a lot of good guys out there, just like there's bad women, like there's shitty people both sides of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just think I think it's perspective and like acceptance and like giving people space to like prove that they're there for you. So I was jaded for a bit, but now I'm like on the other side.
Well, I agree. I always say that you call people into your life that I guess how you are. You call them into your space. That's true. I think it's like completely true. You have to kind of open up change the way what you're putting out there. Because you're right. There are bad women out there and bad men and great women and great men. Anybody else think it's changing or anything for you guys? You think it's changing?
I mean, I think it's changing. I think it's incremental changing. I remember I went to a talk and Gina Davis was speaking. This was probably a couple of years ago. And she said when, she did Thelma and Louise, they were convinced the landscape of Hollywood was going to change because here was a box office hit being led by two powerful women. Granted, they both died at the end, which sucked. But regardless, and nothing changed. Nothing changed. And then you have Wonder Woman that came out and everyone's like, here we go. This is going to change the landscape of filmmaking in regards to women. We have to keep feeding the fire. It's not an overnight switch that just gets turned on. It's a day in and day out affirmation between women that we have a voice. And that's what I love about working with you, James, is you honor the voices of all the very different women on your network.
It's very important to me. Thank you for saying that. It's very important to me. And I'll go down to Miss Happiness because we are people of color. And so what do you think is happening for our communities? You think they're changing a little bit as things you're seeing?
I'm going to admit that my field is primarily aviation. And so you guys are awesome. I have very limited experience in any type of production, any type of Hollywood. I fly planes for fun. So
that's amazing. That's amazing.
I'm doing voice acting for fun as well. But so I don't think that I would be a good service if I I think that what I see on camera, it looks like more women representing different races, different different body types and everything. But you guys would probably know better than me as far as representation. And
well, do you notice when you're watching things? Do you seek out? Do you just happen to see things when you as that kind of the lay person, so to speak? You see stuff.
One thing I will say is commercials. Just 10 years or even 5 years, I say that I see a lot more African Americans and Hispanics on camera now, and that's something that's really noticeable for me because just 10 years ago, I didn't really see a lot of commercials with a lot of African Americans. So that was interesting to me. I think it's really different. You see more African American families doing just a small commercial, and I think that's pretty cool. And I like that Disney's doing more as well. So
Disney is doing more. Yes, I've seen more interracial couples on commercials.
That's a big thing too.
I come from a mixed race family, so I understand that's a big thing. I'm seeing that a lot more now. It's like good. We're seeing some representation. And Ashley, for you, what do you think about women? What's going on for you and women?
I think it's definitely people are trying to be more conscious of casting women and casting them in better roles and trying not to be so sexist in Hollywood, but it's still a conscious effort. It's not effortless. So I think it's on the right path. I think people are more aware of it now and we're headed in the right direction, but will it ever be effortless? I don't know. I would hope so. But
Good point. That's a very good point, actually. It's right now they're conscious.
mhm.
They're conscious of it. It's like, yeah, it's not just the norm yet.
Right.
Yeah, which is what we're aiming for. So
Exactly.
hopefully we get there.
Elizabeth, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, one thing that that I'd like to see happen too is more roles opening up to more mature women, because I mean, I'm getting close to Social Security.
You're like, hello, what's more work? What's more work? Yes.
And it seems like all of the casting calls that come out, are for grandmas who are 50. And it's like, okay, well, all right, I fit into that category, but aren't there other
Right,
other
hello.
roles out there?
I know, it's crazy. I won an award a couple of years ago, and I ended my speech with, "This is for the old guys." And it's funny, so many folks came up to me like, "I'm one of the old guys." Oh my God, they were saying that because I talked about I turned 50 that year. I won this award, and I said, we're still valuable and we're still viable. We're still, the life doesn't end at 25 or 30. Like we can still continue, and
Right.
still, especially actually, the more experience you have, what a great actor you can be. I mean, the more experience you have, how great your voice matures. Christina and I know about that, about seeing how your voice matures even as you get older. And like, there's so many great assets to being a little older in the business.
That's right.
Right? I think so. I totally think so about that. But are we afraid to talk about age though? Are we still afraid to do that? Women, are we? Or are we okay? Are you guys okay with age?
Absolutely.
They're still afraid, aren't
What
we?
do you guys think of the BBC? Because I feel like America is just so with age, and it's just so American. But like, my parents love the BBC and like Acorn and all the British shows, and all the British shows have these powerhouse men and women that are like 50s, 60s, like live, and they're so good. And I'm like, why isn't America hopping on that train? Because they've got tons of shows that are doing well and people working, and America's just like not into it. I don't know.
Mm-mm.
It is
I
weird.
know. I was watching. Was it Soul Survivor? What's the one with Kiefer Sutherland?
Yeah.
And Bonnie Bedelia played the mother of his wife, and I thought, what? I mean, she looked like they could be sisters or something.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Why not actually cast someone who was maybe in their 70s or or 80s? I mean, why cast a woman who? Yeah, I don't know. It bugged me.
No, I bug too. No, the thing is, what she's saying is true. Like Downton Abbey, that was the one thing Americans loved. Downton Abbey. Half
Right.
those actresses were old. Come on, folks, let's get real, and they were good.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and everyone of all ages was into that show. It wasn't just like my grandparents were into it. Like everybody was talking about it of all ages when that was out. It's just, you're right. You're right, Christine. So like in England, they show EastEnders. The old people are just as well, with the younger people, the people in the middle. They're all featured in major storyline. Me and Tammy do the soaps, and that's always a lot of complaints. The fans want to see the veterans on the shows. For some reason, they won't showcase them enough. It's like we want to see the ones who've been around for a long time. Like, it's so weird. The fans say they want it.
I'm a classic Hollywood fiend. I have TCM playing pretty much 24/7 in the house. But I will say that I really strongly believe that the studio system is part of the problem back in the day, because it was their job to pigeonhole women. This was the look you needed to have. This was the age range. This was the waistline. This was the weight you needed to be. And if you were a mother, you played a mother for the rest of your life. If you were an ingenue, you only had a very, short shelf life. And even though the studio system, went to the wayside in the 70s, there's still that mentality. in the States about pigeonholing women, especially in regards to age. Older women are looking better and better and better. And Hollywood refuses to acknowledge that there's a range there. It's maddening.
It's so true. And it just kills me. They want everybody to look like, a lot of the women that are kind of popular now are my age, and the JLOs, Jennifer Anistons, are all the same age. They look great, but there are folks even older than them that look just as. My mother has no wrinkles, so she's in her 70s, has no wrinkles. There are plenty of people.
Judi Dench.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. These women are phenomenal. They're gorgeous and they're strong and they're phenomenal.
We gotta change that. Come on, Hollywood, we gotta change that. Well, I'm gonna do my best to change that if I can. I'm gonna do that. I want to ask you. Okay, so I'm gonna ask the 5 of you, but I'm also gonna ask Christine in another way. Do you listen to your work or watch your work? Have you heard, you 5 who had this series out already? Have you listened to yourself? And then Christine, for you, do you listen to your work? Do you watch your work? I'm kind of curious. You don't?
No. I'm not the best at watching my stuff. It's really hard. Like, I can't. There's stuff that that's why. So I made a Christine Carroll thing, which was like a solo show, and I put it out in December. And it was the hardest thing because I had to like write it and then film it and then produce it, and then I had someone else edit it. But then I had to go in and like give the final edits, and I had to watch myself. And I had a meltdown where I laid on the floor and I couldn't do it. And I was like, let's just not do this. Let's just stop it. Like, I almost just canceled the whole thing. So
and it's good, folks. It's good. That's good. It's good. She's being hard on herself. It's good. I support her venture.
It turned out good, but like, I don't know, like watching is so hard. And then like I edit my stuff and I just,
it's very common. It's actually common. A lot of folks who don't. Anyone else? Anybody? You listen to your stuff? Elizabeth, go ahead, girl.
Well, I found it's a whole lot easier for me to listen to myself than it is to watch myself.
That's true. Yeah.
A whole lot easier. And I'm a fan of Forever and a Day because also when I'm listening, I'm only recording the scenes I'm in. And so even though I've read through the script, it's like a whole new experience for me when I actually get to listen to everybody perform. And I'm really, really enjoying that. But when I see myself, when you see yourself on screen and your head is 4 feet tall or something, it's awful. It is awful.
It's weird, yes. I did a movie 2 years ago with Rebecca Fox. And I remember it was like, James, we hear you first and then we see you. Because I did my little part. I know what's going to happen. And it was being green screened in, so I had no idea what it was going to look like. And it was weird to see. I'm a host. So, I'm on, we're on TV every week, all the time. And I kind of watch those sometimes, but I'm sitting down behind a desk like this. And I'm just like, hi, I look great this way. But then you look at yourself and you're like, oh, so I had those donuts that day. That's what happened over there. Okay. That angle's a little different. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, why don't I just like go like this and go, hi, I'll do my lines like this.
I see the sodium from the quarter pounder I had last night.
Exactly. Wow, in that scene. Okay, great. I had no idea. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's a little rough, but yeah, I understand that. Happiness, did you listen to any of Bristol Road or Cupid's Crossing?
I'm going to admit that I love that I'm not the only one, but it is easier to listen to yourself than watch, I think, as well. But when I listen to myself, I'm just like, gosh, I could have said that better. Oh, man, I sound like that in that part. But yeah, so
you were good.
A little longer, a little slower. It's just like you criticize yourself a little differently.
Yeah, but you were good. And Miss Ashley?
Yeah, so sometimes I do, but I also fall down that dark hole of critiquing yourself to death and it gets ugly. Yeah, I do like to listen to myself or watch myself because I'm like, okay, this is how I can fix that. Or, oh, I didn't know I was blinking so much. Why am I blinking so much? Like little things like that. So yeah, I do occasionally, but not all the time, because then I'll just get obsessive about it and yeah, fall down that dark rabbit hole.
At my first radio show I ever did, I was so happy, and I was like, I can't wait to listen when I get home. I listened to it when I got home, and I was like, the word "so." I never want to say that for the rest of my natural life. I said it like 10,000 times. First episode. So. I'm like, oh my goodness. That's so 10,000. Like, oh my goodness. I'm going to eliminate my vocabulary. Screw that word. I will never say it ever again. And I'll never say it again on any of my shows. I'm like, that word is not in the vocabulary. It was kind of weird. Tammy Govinda, what about you?
When I first started working as a host, I was told you need to watch yourself. That's part of your job. And so I forced myself to do that. And to your point, James, I had idiosyncrasies. It's like, okay. It was so funny that you mentioned Ashley, the whole blinking thing. Because it's like, oh my God, I have contact lenses, so I'm always blinking because my eyes are dry. Like I need to stop that. It's crazy.
I was like, do I do that in real life? That's so
I know.
I was told that.
Oh my God.
I was told that I blink too much and I nod my head too much. So I'm like,
I use my hands. I always use my hands. It's like, use your hands. Put your hands down. Hands down. Put your hands. I can't help it. Like hands. Hands. But yeah, but you're right. As a whole, I was told the same thing as a whole. When I first started hosting, you should watch yourself so you can see your posture, you see how you speak, see how you work with other people. And I used to watch a lot of my stuff, and it was hard at first. It was just like, oh my God, who's that? And now I don't care. The camera's my friend. I don't care. I watch it all the time. And so it's going, that's fine, it's whatever. But you can't, there's no such thing as perfection. This never is. It's whatever choice you make in the moment is in the moment. And all you guys are good. So I mean, that's what I'm like. So you guys are all good. So you should feel proud. So I'm going to ask you some of the other things you guys are doing. So I'll start with you, Elizabeth. What are you doing out there? I mean, I know you've been getting other roles and doing other things. So what are you doing?
Well, in addition to acting, I also I make jewelry, and I've got a little Etsy store with my jewelry shop, and but I've been keeping pretty busy doing even some COVID safe shoots and that sort of thing. I just did a commercial for a casino last week, and so just I never get bored. Let's put it that way.
Good.
Yeah.
Tell me where your jewelry store is on Etsy.
Okay. It's called Is a Bit. IZABIT. My name's Elizabeth, and one of my nephews, I don't even know how many nieces and nephews I have anymore. I don't know, 14, and then I have great nieces and nephews. But one of my nephews could never pronounce my name, and he always called me Isabit. And I just thought that was kind of cute. So it's Isabit because my jewelry is a bit fun and it is a bit funky.
That's really
cute. That's cute. I like that. Oh, how cute is that? Okay, well, go there, folks. Buy some stuff. Tammy Govinda, what are you doing these days? I kind of know some stuff you're doing because we work together a lot, but what are you doing these days?
Yeah, so I'm working on a passion project, and this goes back to the classic Hollywood thing, creating a podcast that spotlights classic film and television. So getting that up and running, and that should be debuting a little teaser coming out next week, I think.
What's the podcast called?
Some Like It Classic.
Ooh, nice. Ooh.
Is that a play off of Some Like It Hot? Yeah. I love all movies.
I'm gonna write that down.
It's gonna be good. So we're going. It's just something she's been working on for a while. So it's gonna be good.
Awesome.
And we have some stuff going on. We have other things going on she's working on with me. Miss Christine, I mean, I can see right now you're in New York doing some music.
I'm in New York. I'm starting up a rock and roll band called Cake Tower, which I'm excited about. I wrote 11 songs for it, and we're making that album right now. And then I'm writing a play film called Oh My Goddess, and it's about Venus the goddess, and she's in a dive bar in Mount Olympus called Clams, and she hates love, and she's an anti-villain. So I'm writing that. That's going to be a musical, and I'm going to try to make that like a teaser of that in April.
I love the name Cake Tower, by the way. It's awesome.
Thank you. Cake Tower. Christine Hauer and Cake Tower.
Sounds like fun. I'll definitely watch.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
Very good. So actually explain to folks what a play film is.
It's a new, thank you. It's this new genre, trademarking actually, that combines theater with film. So it's like filmed as like you perform a play, but it's really quick editing. So you still have the tingles of live theater, but it's edited. And they're all like under 40 minutes. So they're short jolts of story. And they're supposed to be a little bit like of a sampler for if it's supposed to be a film or a book or a actual play, or if it's like, I don't know, like it's just a nice nugget of like live theater and film. And it's like safer because it's less people. And it's more about like the characters and like good acting. So yeah, it's new. I just started it during COVID.
I love it. I do. I love it. That's why we're kindred spirits. I think people ask me all the time, what's an audio drama? What does that mean? What's that? I'm like, so there's audiobooks and there's podcasts. It's none of those. It's somewhere in between. No, I tell people this all stuff is new. All this stuff is actually we're on the ground floor of something, you guys. All 7 of us are on the ground floor of something that's actually audio dramas are starting to take off now. People are starting. Broadway.com has one. There are a few others starting their own. We were some of the first who did that. I'm proud to say that. But play films may become a thing also, and people start doing more. I mean, like I love that we're being creative in ways that also are in shorter content too. Shorter form, digestible. Here you go, enjoy. And I love that. I love that we're doing that. And happiness. So you're at airports. You're doing voiceover work. Are you doing more flying? What's going on with you?
So I definitely agree with Elizabeth. I stay busy. So right now, I fly for fun, and I manage an airport out here in LA County. And I also, in the middle of COVID, I felt like I didn't have enough time being busy. So I started a vending machine business for fun. So I do that on my weekends. So that's for fun. And then to pay off the rest of my college bill, I started a cleaning but no, my friends are basically taking care of that. I just do the administration. And and then anything that James has, I also indulge in that. And if anybody wants to add me on Instagram, my vending machine business is Vindy_services, or on Facebook, it's Vindy, VENDI.
Yes.
Cool.
And Happiness is actually going to star on another show that we're doing called Manchester Avenue. We're going to start. Happiness, I think I have it all cast now. I just got to send invitations out to them if they want the roles, but we're going to start shooting that soon. That's going to be another fun series. It's a little crazy. It's a little interesting, but she'll be starring on that as Tommy McPherson. So we're excited to start that with her other role. So Ashley, what are you doing these days? You're busy also. You're doing stuff too. You're busy also.
Yeah. Well, I danced with a Polynesian dance company, and so we've been ramping up for luau season, which hopefully we're going to have this year. We didn't really have much of a season last year because of the COVIDs. So we've been rehearsing for that, and we're ramping up to get going. I started learning the ukulele during COVID. So that's been a little fun creative project. Big musical theater person, and I started rehearsals for a show right before COVID hit. We were like a month into rehearsal, and then that got killed. So hopefully that'll be ramping up again this year, which I'm super excited because I miss the stage. I miss it so much. I miss being on it. I miss watching it.
Didn't you miss the smell of the theater?
Yes.
Yes, I just love the smell of the theater, a sound stage in a theater.
Girl, I
So
understand.
looking forward to that.
Yes, no, I have these intention words every year. My intention word for the year, and last year was stage. I was like, that's my intention. I'm gonna do more stage.
And then the
My
stage
word
disappeared.
for the year, and I'm gonna do stage this year.
The stage is where you are.
I guess so, but I was like, that was what I had in mind, people. I was gonna be on stage somewhere. I had things booked. I had gigs booked, all literally a year ago this month, all canceled. Right. I did want to ask you, how'd you get into Polynesian dancing?
So I know I'm not like the typical person you imagine as a Polynesian dancer. I did a little bit in high school. My high school dance teacher was Polynesian and she taught us the basics. And then I joined a halau in San Diego when I lived down there and I was with them for about a year. And then I moved up to Long Beach about a year and a half ago. And I've been dancing all my life, ballet, jazz, tap, you name it, I'm all over the place. I found an ad for them on Craigslist, actually. I found like a whole bunch of creative stuff on there. They were looking for dancers for their Christmas show. So I auditioned for them, got in, and I make myself up with the big hair and put some like tanning lotion on before the season starts. So I look a little more Polynesian.
Yes.
But yeah, I love hula. I love the culture. Yeah, it's great. It's fun. It's good exercise, and it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful culture.
I agree. I love Hawaii. I love going.
Mm-hmm.
I love the islands. But that's right. I'm sure the exercise part. I have a friend who learned how to do belly dancing, and she was like,
Ooh.
James. Ooh. So she loved it. But it was rough at first. But great exercise. Great.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Dancing's good for you folks. Dancing's good. It's really good. Keep you in shape. Well, I want to thank you, ladies. Each of you brings so much to my network. I can't wait for people to hear the Easter hair. It's so good. It's gonna be so good. You guys are gonna just love it. It's crazy. It's fun. Christina's amazing in it, of course, but other actors. So I can see that. But the folks who are out there now, Forever and a Day is out now. Forever and a Day is out now. Second season. It is on fire. It is in fuego. It's out there. So you have to check that out. Miss Rowe, which did very well for us. We will have a second season. It did that well for us. We'll have a second season this Christmas. But you can check it out now. People are listening to it now. Why not? Even though it's set at Christmas time, doesn't matter. You can listen to it anytime you want to. It's about 3 people being dropped into a Hallmark movie. So it's like, just how would you react? There you go. That's all you gotta do with that one. That's year round, right? It's year round. Closet series is out now. There's new featurettes every month. The 3 main episodes that come out in our Christmas in June on JLJ Media. We're gonna do a whole event like Hallmark Channel does. And so you can listen to that now. It's out now, also doing that. Cupid's Crossing just ended, did very well for us. There will be a season 2 for that also. And that's out now. You can listen to the craziness that she does, Miss Happiness does. It's Aphrodite Williams. What's going on there? We have fun with that one. And the animated thing, and then Easter is coming out April 1st. That's coming out. And we have other series. We just finished the Tooth Fairy series. We're finishing a series called Amore. We have a whole bunch coming out on JLJ Media. Much more stuff. And maybe I can grab Elizabeth from one of my other series. I'll have to grab it and get to work with her and grab her. I haven't worked with you yet, like myself. I'm gonna grab you. But a strong female role. A strong role for you. That's what I'm gonna do. But thank you so much for all you bring to my network. I really can't do without you guys. I mean, I really wouldn't be here. So thank you so much. So I'll start with Issa. We're gonna tell everybody where they can find you. So we'll start with Happiness. Tell where they can find you on social media.
So you can find me at Happiness Carter, and that's my Instagram. And also again, Vendi, VENDI_services. And that is my social media. And if you're on Clubhouse, I am also known as Happiness Carter.
Are we following each other in Clubhouse? Are we following each other? I'll look for you. I'll look for you in Clubhouse.
What is Clubhouse?
Clubhouse is an invite only.
Yeah.
Clubhouse is a new app that's invite only, audio only social app. And it's pretty great for networking. I use it for like real estate networking. So it's really fun.
Okay. I'm the worst millennial.
It's fine. It's for iPhone users only right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Android.
Android, so this you guys, so yeah.
I got kicked out of the club.
Before you were in. You got kicked out before you were in. But it's invite only. It's a great network. I do talks on there sometimes. A great networking thing. And famous people are on there. Non-famous people are on there. There's like little rooms, all audio. There's no video. It's all audio. It's this new thing. It's taking the world by storm. So I'm learning it. I'm trying to go through and learning it. I'll see if I'm following you. But Ashley, where can they find you on social media?
I'm just on Facebook and Instagram. My Instagram is Ash Ventures, like adventures, but Ash Ventures, and then a little underscore at the end of that. I made a TikTok. I haven't used it.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what I put my username as for TikTok. I am literally the worst millennial. I made it because my friend was like, "You have to download it," and then I didn't. I never looked at it again. So
you're probably the smart one. That's why you're probably smarts. The rest of us are hooks. You're smart. Follow her on Instagram. Miss Christine Howard, where can they find you and your stuff?
My name, like if you Google it, all the stuff kind of comes up. Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Christine Howard U.
You guys are all clever.
It lands eventually. Christine Carroll is the thing that I just made and I'm really proud of, and it feels like that's kind of my voice and me, and it's christinecarroll.com. It's free, 30 minutes if you want to watch it. I also have a soundtrack of 10 songs I wrote for that's on Spotify under the same name if you feel like checking out my songs.
Christine is a person who uses his last name on everything. I feel you, girl. Lots of trust me, I use it a lot. And Tammy Govinda, where can they find you?
So on Twitter and Facebook at Tammy Govinda, and on Insta, what is it, James?
Tammy Govinda.
Tammy Govinda.
You can never change it. That's it. Forever. And Miss Elizabeth, I love you. Where can they find you and your goodness?
Well, if you Google actress Elizabeth Von Isser, my Facebook and Instagram come up. And Twitter, I hardly ever use, but it's E_Von Isser. And then I've got a website, elizabethvonisser.com.
There you go, kids. And you can follow me where all James Law Jr. is sold at James Law Jr. on all social media platforms. I am on TikTok. I am there. I have 3 million people liking me or something. I don't know what's going on. I don't even do the dances or nothing. I just do weird talks and stuff. So follow me on there, see what I'm talking about. It could be anything. It could be organizing tip. It could be a poem. It could be about eggs. I did one thing. Well, no, I got this.
I like eggs.
It said extra large egg, and it's a tiny egg. So I said, folks on TikTok, is this an extra large egg? It's got like 200 views already. I don't know. So look at that. So you can follow me there. Also, JLJ Media is the channel. JLJ Media is the network. JLJ Media is JLJ Media. So please follow, subscribe, like. Thank anybody in the chat room who watched. Follow all these ladies. Follow all of our shows. Please, I know things are opening up a little bit more now. Please be safe. Please be careful. Please be mindful. Have compassion. And support the arts. We'll see you next time.